You know, I was chilling out lately and I got a couple of messages from people, as I do about HiACs around the world. You know, whenever one of these gets bought or sold around the world, I get like an email from someone. I should really be keeping like a spreadsheet or something, because I basically know like where every HiACs is in the world now. When someone does something to their HiACs, I normally find out about it. If it's good, like someone will get like tires or something, and they'll flick me an email and they're like, "Hi Nathan, I just got some new tires on my HiACs," and I'm like, "Thank you very much. Registration number, what's a VIN? Okay, I'll put it in the register." I'm just kidding. But I have heard quite recently of a lot of guys that are just destroying the AC systems in these vans, like both front and rear, because you know, you recharge them from the same ports. And what they're doing is really, really dumb. So you know when you go to like an auto parts shop and you see like a can of R134 refrigerant and it's got that stupid little gauge on it and like a little hose that you connect to the low pressure port? Yeah, don't use that stuff, man. So these things, the 1KZ HiACs, I know for sure, I'm not sure about the 2.83L one, have a ton of refrigerant in them. So normally like a large SUV or like a full-size SUV or full-size truck would have like 800 grams of R134 refrigerant and 50 grams of compressor oil. This thing takes 1,200 grams of refrigerant and then 50 mils of compressor oil. There's a lot of pressure as well to like pump that into the system, and it's not as easy as just connecting a can up and then shaking it and spraying it into the AC system. That's not how AC systems work. That's why like workshops invest thousands of dollars in buying the latest AC machines to make sure that firstly they vacuum out all of the AC that's in the system, and then they weigh that so that they know exactly how much was in the system. Then they look at the little placard. On the case of this car, it's if you lift up the carpet underneath the engine cover, it's all in Japanese, but obviously you can use Google Translate or something, and it'll tell you how much AC it needs. Then they plug up the machine once the system is completely vacuumed out, and then they can pump in the exact amount by weighing it of the refrigerant that it needs and then the compressor oil. If you don't know how much is in there, and if you don't know what you're putting in at what pressure, i.e. just using a can with a hose attached to it, you're going to cause damage, which is what a lot of these guys did. They caused damage, they blew certain components, and then they started chasing these problems. I heard of guys that have personally like pulled out the entire dashboards to start replacing components that they thought they had damaged during that little can fill up. Eventually, a lot of these vans got sold after a couple of months because it really frustrated these owners. First and foremost, just don't use that can. Take it to an AC professional. Those machines that fill these things up are really intelligent. So after a certain point of regassing an AC system, especially in a car like this, the machine will not have the pressure required to pump the refrigerant into the system. So what happens then is the car's own AC compressor kicks on and it starts to suck the refrigerant out of the machine instead of it just pumping it in. That's the way it equalizes itself, and that's how it works properly. So don't use that. Take it to a proper AC professional. Don't buy one of those cans at an automotive parts store. Get it done properly and you won't run into problems. You won't start chasing problems that you won't be able to find because you've blown a little expansion valve here or there, and you can just enjoy nice cool air on a warm summer's day. Goodbye.